Hello everybody, Dr. Mike here, sports chiropractor at Functionized here in Colts Neck, New Jersey. So I'm going to go ahead and start on a little mini podcast today, and what I'm going to do is talk about symmetry, or lack thereof, mostly in terms of our body, and why it matters, which you can probably guess it matters at least a little bit to me, or I probably wouldn't be talking about it. So let's just go ahead and delve right in and let's see how this goes. So we are asymmetrical creatures in nature, meaning that we don't use the left and our right sides equally. Again, we're meant for this, but, well, we'll follow that but right now. So, the majority of us, we're either right-handed or left-handed. Most of us are right-handed, which means, we'll do things more repetitively with that right side, and we'll reach out to open doors, or we'll step up with the right leg first before going up steps. And this happens, hundreds of thousands of times in a day. And these little small things that we'll do a little bit more one-sided than the other. So, the muscles on one side will be increasing more than the other. And it's not just only my right dominant side is going to be getting stronger. For example, if I like to kickbox, so my kicking leg will be my right one for the most part. It'll get a little stronger in the hip flexors and some of the rotors to swing. But then my left leg is a lot better on that static stability because that's the one that I push down to post. So they both get benefits of being better at something, if you want to look at it that way. But it's going to cause a little bit difference in muscle development, which will lead into pretty much now. But there's other things other than just our normal activities that can make us more or less asymmetrical. Things like injuries in our past will affect the way that we end up changing and compensate for muscles. For example, I've sprained my ankle, probably 5 or 7 times, to where I may have helped correct it to an extent, but my right ankle or my right foot, however, will pronate or turn out to the side a little bit more than the left. The only reason why this matters in this context is that it's going to change the biomechanics of, my whole leg. If my left leg is, we'll call it straight, and my right foot is turned out, the muscles of my foreleg and my calf are going to be used a little differently on the right side because it has to compensate or deal with the fact that my ankle is turned out to the side. So again, the bulk or the change of them are going to be a little different when you compare it. So even though a lot of these hemispheric distortions that we have in our body aren't usually really large or grandiose in nature, most of us are kind of familiar with at least some of them that we have, and to some of us that are more perfectionistic or pay attention to it, or just you happen to notice or someone points it out when you haven't noticed it, it can start driving us a little crazy. But again, we were made this way, which is why we have muscles compensate for each other to help assist in these motions, which is really what muscle compensation is that when one muscle isn't able to do its job, the way it's quote-unquote meant to, other muscles are going to jump in to try to help it out. This is a learned adaptation. So we might start using our right upper trap to raise our shoulder a little bit more instead of gripping a heavy bag or something with our arm. So if there's a cinder block I'm trying to pick up, and after so long, instead of just lifting that cinder block up with my right hand, maybe it's a little heavy, maybe I'm getting fatigued, maybe my elbow hurts. I'm going to start using my shoulder, my upper trap, to raise that cinder block up as well, just to kind of help assist. Again, the muscles are there, even though it's not the dominant motion it's supposed to do. But this could lead to a problem. Upper traps is a major reason why a lot of times we end up getting headaches or neck pain. So using that right side more kind of led to the elbow injury, which then led to the muscle compensation of the upper trap, which led to the headaches. And maybe to add on to that, if the right trap is tight, it's going to bend my neck possibly. Nothing awful, just it's going to bring it a little over to the side. And so now the muscles on the other side are being overstretched. The neck muscles on the one side are getting a little tighter. And it can just lead to problems down the road. Not saying instantly, but years down the road with repetition. So, physical symmetry isn't something that we easily do or think about. And, there are corrective exercises, which, with all the literature is a little wishy-washy with how well it works. But how can we end up fixing this, and why would we want to? So other than the fact that, muscle asymmetries or body asymmetries in general can lead to a little bit more of injuries, it can also change our sports performance. So I like to go to the basketball player example of if my right leg is a little stronger than my left, and I'm a we'll say I play basketball, and they tend to jump a little bit, a couple 100,000 times in a career. If you're constantly pushing off a little bit more with that right leg, your whole right leg's going to get a little stronger. Which, okay, it's your dominant leg, you might expect that. But over time, you're constantly using those muscles, you're more likely to strain them. So if your left leg was more equal, there'd be more of a balance of pushing off with both legs the way we're quote-unquote designed to, and you're less likely to get a sprain, strain, or injury from it. So that's great. Okay, so we have asymmetries, we get muscles compensation, it's going to injure us and decrease our performance. Well, that's great. What can we do about it? Well, good news is that there's been a few papers coming out that proves chiropractic can assist with this. Even more so, it's measurable. And myself and the mad scientist Jim Getz here at Functionize, we actually did this a couple of weeks ago as a thought, and then we ended up finding this paper, so that's kind of cool, but let's delve into this a little bit more. So a lot of us are familiar with the good feeling of getting an adjustment, feeling those muscles relax and just kind of melt in. And other than it just being, seem like an instant massage in a second, what else can this really do? I mean, it can correct some of these muscle distortions and body asymmetries. And again, we can see it and we can measure it, and it's really cool to think about that a chiropractic adjustment can, if it's fixing these asymmetries, by let's say adjusting my neck, it's going to relax that upper trap, maybe adjust the shoulder as well. So now that right upper trap is no longer firing as much, and now the left one can kind of equalize a little bit. Or if we adjust the low back or the hips, it might help realign ourselves so we can push off a little bit more with the left side to make it more equal than the right. Again, then decreasing the chances of injury and increasing our balance jump up to help keep us more in line for the shot. I tend to work with a lot of feet because people, in general, let's just be honest, people don't like feet. They find them disgusting or gross or whatever, but they are a major part of our daily activity. They're one of the first things that tend to move, and they literally hold up our entire bodies. So we all put more pressure on one foot than the other, or maybe forward or backward. And here at Functionized, we can actually measure it. We have a Fit 3D scanner, which not only shows our balance, how much we're pushing on one side or the other on what foot, but it also shows us all of our muscle imbalances. It will show you if your right quad is larger than your left, if I'm tilting my whole neck or entire body to the left, or maybe we're rotating to the right at the same time. We can measure these, we can see these, which can lead us to fixing these before they become a problem. Or maybe you're wondering why you can't get that a little faster of a pitch down the field. Tight muscles or weaker muscles, so that alone, the chiropractic adjustment will help relax and lengthen the muscle and make them fire a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. But then we can help prevent these injuries. So on this page, we actually have a video of the mad scientist himself hopping on the Fit 3D scanner, seeing all of his muscle imbalances, and then we instantly go throw him on the chiropractic table. I took a few little pre-video scan to see what needed adjusted, give some adjustments to those regions, and we throw them back on the scan. And we went to do the pre and post comparison. It was kind of cool to say there was absolutely no comparison. It corrected, I'm not going to say it made him completely symmetrical, it just didn't, but it fixed a lot of those asymmetries. So this way, when he wants to go for a run, for his next Spartan race or next objective goal he has in mind, his legs will be pushed a little bit more. He can be a little bit more vertical as opposed to tilted to the side. Because maybe if you're bent a little bit to the left, when you're running for a couple miles, it's putting more pressure on that left hip, which again will lead to more shock absorption and possibly some damage or a sprain or a strain. That's nothing any of us want. We want to be happy, compete at our best, and let alone not be in any pain. And the cool thing about this is it appears to work with not just the spine, but again, our extremities as well. So you can help, we'll call it realign, or help reset and just make your whole symmetries of your arms, legs, wrists, ankles, everything a little bit better. And all it takes is a quick little physical exam on the first time, and then go ahead and correct what we find. And doing things like using the Fit 3D, we can find potential problems before they even occur. So it's just awesome to know that, other than just, well, there's a lot of things that chiropractic can help with, which we'll talk about a lot more down the road in some of these little mini podcasts. But just to show a little bit more about it, can help prevent injuries is a huge thing. It can help heal injuries as well, but I don't know, I'd rather prevent something than trying to fix it. So for any of you guys that, you've noticed that you have asymmetries, or you just want to increase your sports performance, or if you think, hey, I'm a little bit more susceptible to this shoulder injury, or I get a headache on this side, go ahead and reach out to us. You can either call us at 848-444-9032. Find us online at functionized.com. Instagram, Facebook, same thing. We're at Functionized, FUNCTIONSIED. And you can either, one, ask us any questions. We love questions. And then, book an appointment. I'll gladly go ahead. We'll take an exam for you. We can put you on the Fit 3D, see where your asymmetries are, and what we can do to try to help adjust, both literally and metaphorically, adjust you in ways that you can be a happy, healthier, and better performing you. So again, as always, if you like what you hear, please leave us an honest 5-star review. Helps get the word out a little bit. And even more so, let us know what you want to hear. Because if there's a topic or a question you have, direct message us. We will respond. And if it's something that we feel like we can or should talk about, we even do a little podcast on it. We'll shout you out. So, as always, and until next time, this is Dr. Mike here at Functionized. I'm out, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Be happy, be healthy, be fit and functionized.